after he was tracked down in Florida. Supporters protested against his family's control at Old Trafford on Sunday, with their attempts to join a failed European Super League the final straw. Our reporter Sally Lockwood tried to get answers from Mr Glazer in Palm Beach.
Do you have anything to say to Manchester United fans, Mr Glazer? Is it time to sell the club, Mr Glazer? Are the fans just customers to you? This is an opportunity for you. An apology, perhaps.
A man's been spared jail after using a fake negative COVID test certificate to board a flight to Egypt. The 27-year-old's been fined £180 after the forged document was discovered at Heathrow last month. And Little Mix star Leanne Pinnock has announced she's pregnant. The singer's shared a photo of her bump on social media. That's the latest. I'm Tanya Snuggs.
This is Revive FM 94.0.
Reviving communities.
The views expressed on this program do not necessarily represent those of Revive FM or its management.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope everyone is well. Assalamu alaikum. Hello, welcome. You are all listening to Revive FM 94.0. My name is Saad. As you all know, this is the late night debate night show where we have some conversations, have a few hot topics that we want to discuss. And of course, if you guys want to join in with our conversation, please feel free to call us on 0333 444 0940 and go and share the pages on our Facebook and on our YouTube live. With me in the studio, I've got, I'll let him introduce himself.
I'm Mahi. If you haven't been watching the show for the last 3 weeks now.
3 weeks, yeah.
You should know who I am. But if not, I'm Mahi and I'm the co-host for this show.
Amazing. Okay, so again, assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope everyone's well. So, today is a big topic. It's a big topic. You know, I don't know if for those that haven't seen the topic, or for those that haven't seen the poster is called Bredrins. You know, about our friendships, how we communicate with one another when we're younger, who we associate ourselves with. That's kind of the gist for the program. But anyways, enough of us talking. I think, you know, let's jump straight into it. Today we have a very special guest who we'll let him introduce himself in a second, but just as like a heads up, we have a very special guest with us today. His name is Brother Jibril Siddiq. He's self-employed personal trainer. He also specializes in a lot of training, boxing, that sort of stuff. And the amazing thing is that he's volunteered as a mentor for Feltham youth offenders and for the community as well. So there's a lot of stuff that he's done, mashallah. I'm going to now add him to the stream. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you hear me okay?
Amazing. Alhamdulillah, yes, we can. How are you, brother? How's Ramadan going for you?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Really busy day today, you know, so just getting back in time and having to break my fast and pray and stuff and get ready for today. But
of course. Alhamdulillah, good. That's good to hear. So yeah, I think, you know what, let's jump straight into it, because every time we start the show we run out of time. So let's go straight into it. But yeah, so brother, you know, first thing I just want to ask for the viewers that are basically listening, you know, we had a meeting before this show and we got ourselves a bit more acquainted with Brother Jibril here. But Brother Jibril, do you want to just explain maybe some of the work you do or some of the work you have done or what you used to do, just to the audience that are basically new and I've seen you for the first time?
Okay, so first of all, assalamu alaikum to all of the viewers and everybody listening. I hope everybody is well and in good health. Obviously, in the current times, I know a lot of people are struggling and going through their own trials, but yeah, inshallah, everybody is okay. So for myself, I currently am involved in the fitness industry. I have been for, let me think, about 15 years now, around working with fitness. Currently a self-employed personal trainer. Have been for some time. I specialize in resistance training, boxing, and I also teach Muay Thai boxing as well. That was a discipline of mine. I actually used to fight semi-professional as well.
Wow, really?
For a few years, yeah.
That's really good, mashallah.
So that is my main thing. I feel like with fitness is something that you can always use to reach out to different walks of life, different people, all ages, all demographics, and you know, it's helping people to increase their health, increase their confidence. Is something that kind of just goes all all across the spectrum. Really, I feel I found it's a really good way to integrate and just help people.
I think you know what it is. Brother Jibril has introduced himself, and I think the topic for today, for a lot of youngsters that are listening, for a lot of the youth, for a lot of the people, they think they're a bit lost, or even for those that they don't know what's going on. I think it's a good place to start. Something. When I was younger, this is a bit off topic, but I always used to look at Gordon Ramsay, because when he was younger, he had a story as well. I'm not going to mention it, but he used cooking as like a release, like a little space for him to do what he wanted. That's the way I looked at it. So when I was young, I used to look up to him a little bit. But yeah, that's like a side thing. But no, I think it's important for youngsters and the youth to have something, to get involved with something. Mahi, do you want to?
Yeah, I was going to add to it. I'd say the same thing, but kind of along with Brother Jibril, I'd say I'm like kind of a gym lad as well the last 2 years, and I feel like that's helped me so much. It's not just about gains. Like gains, it's not even the main thing. It's just about that mental health and what it does for you. And I think that kind of goes along with our topic today.
Tell you what, it's interesting. About the 3 weeks ago, I think our first show that we did, it was about mental health and providing a space for youngsters and giving them an opportunity and all that nice stuff. But I think today is slightly different because we're being a bit more specific. It's a very taboo subject, where people don't want to talk about it. They want to avoid it. They want to stay away from it because it's scary. And I think it's important because a lot of these people, I'm going to go straight into it. A lot of these children that are in gang culture and this whole idea of violence and all this stuff, they're very lost. I think some of them, I'm probably wrong, but some of them have found something and they've just stuck to it, and that's all they know. And I think no one gives them an opportunity. I mean, Brother Jabal, you might know a bit more of this because you've got a bit more experience in the field. But what have your experiences been like teaching the youth and empowering the youth and giving them a place to feel free?
I think from like over the years, from what I've seen, I can like in my own life to younger family members, nephews, nieces, younger children in the community, what I've realized is that a lot of the time these younger children, and they're coming from like specific backgrounds, specific areas, and specific demographics, and within their communities there doesn't seem to be a lot for the kids to do as an outlet. Do you know what I mean? And it's like when they're young, when they're teenagers and they're coming up, they have so much energy and so much drive, and it's like, there's a saying, they say that the devil will find work for idle hands. So it's like they have all this energy and motivation. They don't know what to do with it, and a lot of the time the peers or the ideals that they see within their neighborhood are people that are involved in crime and stuff that they shouldn't really be in. But for them, that's what they see, and they see that as an aspiration and a goal. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that is what is enticing. It's a very enticing world, and I feel like once you get a taste of it and you get brought into it, it's kind of hard to leave.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like there's no escape for these youngsters. Like they're kind of born into it, in a sense, and then there's no escape. There's not enough resources for them to escape, and then they're born into it, and then they're kind of like they're into this culture, and then they can't get out of it, even if they do want to. So what would you kind of say, like, of course, from like your own experiences, if a person like is in that kind of situation, a youngster, how difficult is it for them to get out of that situation?
I would say it's very difficult, and even just touching on to like I don't know if I mentioned, but I was very honored and privileged to do some work with young offenders in Feltham Prison, through it's the Feltham Community Chaplaincy Trust. Okay, they work with volunteers who come on to be mentors for young offenders that are in Feltham in prison, and they are due to be released. I think they probably have about 6 months left on their sentence, and they're due to be released back into society. And from working within that and speaking to some of the people at the time that was in Feltham, the stories seem to be, it does seem to follow a similar trail. Like all of their stories seem to be the same, you know.
What do you mean the same? Is there like the background is the same, or is it the whole kind of violence?
The background, but I kind of got the inclination that they found like there wasn't really a way out for them. It's like, you know, I've been doing this for X amount of time, and like this is my way of life now. Do you know what I mean? And it's like for a lot of them, it's like they're so deep into it. It's like even like when I come out and I want to leave this life alone and I want to go on the straight and narrow, it doesn't just stop there. Do you know what I mean? Like they could go outside and they see someone who they've had a problem with or they've had an altercation with, and even though they're saying, you know what, I'm out, I'm not really involved in this no more, it doesn't really work like that, you know. So they feel like they don't really have an option, and they feel like they have to be involved. Sometimes it's just for their safety and just to kind of just get along.
I just wanna plug something in. You know, a lot of the times, because a lot of people, they talk about this topic like they know so much about it. But I think the main reasons they think they know a lot is because of TV shows and movies. Like, for example, what's it called? Top Boy. That's it. Top Boy.
Yeah.
Top Boy. That has become, you know, Netflix is right at the top. Everyone is watching it. College, university, even secondary school children, they're watching it. And they think it's some kind of masterpiece. You know, they're learning so much about the culture, gang culture, this whole side of violence, something that they haven't seen. I've watched a little bit myself. I haven't finished it yet. I haven't finished it yet. I've got exams, bro. But I think it's interesting that, you know, a lot of these youngsters, they're taking from these videos and from these snippets from, you know, because they won't even watch the series. They'll probably just see on YouTube or on Instagram or on Facebook or somewhere, and they'll be like, yeah, I want to be like that, and then I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to do that, and then eventually it becomes like a reoccurring circle, and then they get into the bad stuff. And then I personally think, I probably am wrong, but in my head, I think that's where it starts from. I think when they want to associate themselves with a certain kind of people, they then regret it afterwards once they really realize what it's like. Yeah.
I think people don't understand how serious it can be. I think that's what we're trying to say. Like how serious it actually is, how serious it actually can be. Like we watch these series, we might just think, oh, it's a bit of a joke and stuff.
True.
But, you know, of course, us two aren't in that. And we haven't been part of it. But how serious is it, Brother Jabril?
I guess, you know, I guess there's many different sorts of levels. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like it could be just sort of like at your base level where, I don't know, you might go and hang out with your friends because you're bored and you don't really have nothing to do, and you might go and like smash a window or, do you know what I mean, like vandalize something or something like that. Just like base level, just, you know, kids letting off their energy and just being a nuisance. But then you have high levels where you have youngsters, teenagers getting involved with maybe guys that are a lot older. And they are already,
that's tough.
Yeah, already involved in you know, higher levels of crime and gang violence. And as a youngster, these are people that you look up to. You know, speaking from my experience, it's like the people who I was around in my environment, because I was brought into it at an impressionable age, quite a young teenager. So to me, the people who I saw around me, even though they were doing bad, they were my idols, you know? So I would look up to them and think, wow, like, even though he's a drug dealer, he's got the cars, he's got the money, he's got the clothes, he's got the girls. Like, I want to be like him.
It's a human thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I said, and at the age that you're at, an age where you're very impressionable, your early teens, you know what I mean? You got a lot of hormones going in your body. You don't know really what you might want to do with your life. And if you are surrounded by these people that to you seem to be doing well in life and seem to have made it, it's very easy for you to go down that path, you know?
Brother, I just, you know, this is going to be a bit more of a personal question. But in terms of your experiences and what you've gone through throughout your life, how, you know, for the youngsters listening that, you know, they might know someone in a tough spot, or they might be in a tough spot, with your experiences, how did you get out of that? How did you release yourself from kind of this circle?
It's a deep one.
I think, obviously, for me, from my personal experience, it was a thing where I kind of had to learn and go through a lot myself. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there are some people that might get their foot in, you know, experience something they feel uncomfortable with, and then they're able to get out. But for myself, you know, I mean, unfortunately, I was brought into that world quite deep, and that was a part of my life for a very long time. I think the way that I was able to come out of it was to actually go into it, live it, and have to deal with the consequences that came with that lifestyle.
So tank through it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, obviously, I had to deal with the consequences. You know, the consequences is, you know, when we do bad things, then you have repercussions to those things. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes as kids, we don't really think about the repercussions.
That's very true.
You know, it's just, oh yeah, you know, it's just happy-go-lucky. I'm making money. Like I
Do it
don't
after.
Yeah.
don't really care. But until you're faced with some repercussions, until you might get arrested, or you might get hurt, you might get beaten up, you might get shot at, stabbed. The realities of the street life, once they start to manifest in your life, these are the times when, you know, some people will be like, whoa, okay, you know what, this is a bit deep, this is too much for me, and they'll try to exit out. Some people will embrace it and carry on. So I feel like everybody has a different level as to when is enough, or when they actually realize, like, you know, I need to change. And for me, it took for me to go through a very long journey on that side of life before I came to my realization, you know, that it was time for a change, and that this path, it only has, you know, one of few endings, you know, and that was the reality.
I think that's like, I think youngsters just don't understand, like, your actions do have consequences. You can't just go around doing whatever you want to do. And even if you do want to change that in the future, you know, like, what's that quote? Like, your past it does haunt you, and it does come back. Like, your actions have consequences. And I think people don't understand that, innit? Yeah.
I think a lot of the times people they forget that you know, apart from the fact that you're already in an issue, you have to deal with it, you have to go through it, and even if they want to get out, they can't say it. You know, I think people need to understand this. It's not as easy as, yeah, mum, dad, can you help me? I'm in a bit of trouble. First of all, if they were to tell their parents, they'd probably get disowned. You know, something would happen to them. They'd probably get beat up by their parents. They'd probably get told off quite a lot. You know, some of them, they'd probably have no home to stay in. So I think a lot of the times people need to look past the fact that it's not just young people making a dumb mistake and then regretting it. It's much more detailed than that. You know, I won't mention it, but I might know a few people that have been in a troubling situation and they have no one to talk to. Even if they did have someone to talk to, what they're going to do? Like, there's a lot of these helplines and, you know, a lot of these callers and all this stuff, which they do amazing work, don't get me wrong. But when it gets down to real serious stuff, like this dangerous stuff, you can't get out of it. It's not that simple, you know. And I know a lot of people have watched Power. A lot of people have watched Power. The whole story about the main guy, after a while, he wants to get out of the game. but he can't because he's ghost and all this stuff, right? I mean, it's not reality, but it's something similar along those lines, right? And I think a lot of people, they need to understand that it's tough. It's not easy. It's not something we can get out of. I'm gonna cut it quick here now. Unfortunately, we do have to go to a break just for a couple of minutes, guys. So this conversation is about our friendships, who we connect ourselves with, who we associate ourselves with when we're younger, and we're having a little bit of a conversation. And if you guys want to join in with the conversation, if you want to text us, if you want to ring into the studio, maybe share some of your experiences, please feel free to call us on 0333 444 0940, and one last time, that's 0333 444 0940, and we will see you all right after the break, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Did you know that girls like Noura walk an average of 3 miles every day in search of clean water to support their families? Minhaj Welfare Foundation believes you can end the water crisis by building small and large-scale water projects. Your charity is helping improve the lives of communities living in the poorest regions of the world. However, more needs to be done. Support Water for All. Donate today. Call us now, 0300 3030 777, or visit us on minhajwelfare.org.
Everyone can now get free rapid COVID-19 tests twice a week. They show your results within 30 minutes. They also show you're doing what you can to protect your loved ones, your friends, your workmates, and that you want to keep life moving again. Around 1 in 3 people who have COVID-19 have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. That could be a friend, a relative, a workmate. It could even be you. Rapid tests are easy to get from nhs.uk/get tested. Let's take this next step safely.
Turkish Kitchen. The best Turkish food you'll ever taste. We only use the highest quality meat. Along with our mixed grill platters, we serve cold mezes, hot mezes, lahmacun, and a wide selection of fish options. To order for delivery or collection, call us now on 0208 507 8822. That's 0208 507 8822. Or visit us at 41 Ripple Road, Barking, ID11 7NT. We can also take group bookings and take care of all your party needs. The Turkish Kitchen, Barking.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk. Alternatively, contact our sales team now on 07944 56 5616. That's 07944 56 5616.
अब हम धीरे धीरे लॉकडाउन से बाहर आ रहे हैं। अब हम दोबारा से बाहर मिल भी सकते हैं, लेकिन हम सिर्फ मिलने से ही खुश नहीं होते ना। क्या कुछ पल के लिए जल्दी से गले मिलना नुकसानदेह हो सकता है? 3 में से 1 शख्स जिसमें कोविड-19 के कोई आसार दिखाई भी नहीं दे रहे होते, मगर वो अनजाने में इसे फैला रहे हैं। वो कोई दोस्त, कोई रिश्तेदार या आप खुद भी हो सकते हैं। है तो मुश्किल, लेकिन ज्यादा पास मत जाइए। आइए इस अगले कदम को इंतहाई एहतियात से उठाएं। याद रखें, hands, face, space and fresh air.
Need your tyres checked? Have a flat or a nail in your tyre? Don't panic. Visit B1 Tyres. Our professional and friendly team will have you back on the road in no time. We stock over 3,000 tyres and have some of the best prices in town. Wheel alignment, alloy gaiters and wheel refurbs are just some of the services that we offer. So call us on 0203 875 3525 or visit us at B1 Tyres, Unit B, 43 to 49 Fowler Road in Hainault. B1 Tyres, the garage you can trust.
Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences provides quality Islamic education for children aged between 5 and 15 years old. As well as teaching classical Islam, including Tajweed, Fiqh, Seerah and Aqidah, we endeavour to equip children with essential Islamic manners, morals and values. Here at MSIS, our experienced teachers create an inspirational learning environment where we strive to cater for the needs of every child. For enrolment inquiries, inquire in person at Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences, Monday to Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. at 292-296 Romford Road, or email admin.edu_London@minhajuk.org.
Revive FM
94.0 on the radio,
on your mobile,
and online.
Assalamu alaikum, and we're back. So you're listening to Revive FM 94.0. Today we are having a discussion It is a debate night, and it is about Bredrins and the impact of company. So yeah, if you do want to get involved in the conversation, do call in. The studio number is 0333 444 0940. So yeah, do contact us and get into this conversation. So again, you asked before the break, Saad did ask like a deep question to Brother Jibril, and I thought like a deep personal one, and I thought I'd try to get into it as well. So brother, like so first of all, how did you get into this kind of life, and youngsters, how did they get into this life? And same point, what's a way for them to not get into this life? Like what? Yeah, how do they know? Like it's
How to stay away.
Yeah, how to stay away. Like when it's a danger, how do they know that?
So I think like
Yes, it's
can you hear me? Yeah.
Good.
Once again, taking it to my own personal experience, like I said, I feel like for most people it starts from their environment, from their household, what sort of household they're coming up in. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the time you'll find that the things tend to be quite similar. Either they live in maybe a not so nice area. You know, a lot of the time they're coming from single parent families. A lot of the time where it's just the mum at home raising the children. There's no male figure in the house. Do you know what I mean? So once these boys become teenagers or they become of age, there's no real male figure or positive role model in their life. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes all you got to do is step outside and look around your local environment, and your role models are there. But the thing is that they tend to be people that are not doing the things that we should be doing.
That's very true. Yeah.
And I feel that's where it starts. And for me personally, like I said, I was introduced into, we say, the life of crime, illegal life from a very young age, from a young teenager. And that a big influence came from my stepbrother, who was a few years older than me. But he was involved in that lifestyle a lot, you know. And obviously him being my older brother,
right?
He was, I mean, I idolized him. He was my role model. I looked up to him. I wanted to be exactly like him. Do you know what I mean? So if he was in uni studying to be a doctor, I probably would have wanted to be a doctor as well. Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
But the fact that he was involved, heavily involved in the crime and street life from a very young age, I naturally gravitated towards that. You know what I mean? In my mind, as a young teenager, I was like, okay, this is what a man is supposed to do. This is how you know what I mean? This is how you do it. Because that was the only role model that I had. I didn't really have role models close to me in the physical that were doing other things. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is where it all starts. It all starts from the household. It all starts from having a positive role model in your house or in your family or in your surroundings. You know what I mean? Someone that can show you, okay, this is what it takes to do well in life. This is what it takes to go far. You know what I mean? These are the fundamentals. These are the characteristics of a man, of a good man. Do you understand what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of the time you will find that a lot of these kids that get involved in that, they're missing this.
I think I don't want to cut you off, but we're basically half an hour into the show, and we've gone over some of Brother Jibril's personal things that have happened throughout his life. Myself and Mahi, we've explained a few things that we've experienced. But yeah, anyways, let me start again for those that are just joining us. So welcome to the show. This is, of course, the late night debate night show, which happens every Mondays through to the Sunday, and we have different topics, different discussions, and today we are talking about Bredrins. Oh, well, that's the name of the show anyway. Or for those that don't understand, it's mainly about our friendships, who we acquaint ourselves with, who we surround ourselves with when we're younger. And that's kind of the gist of the conversation we've been having. And if you guys do want to join in with the conversation, please feel free. We want your guys' input. We know you're watching on live We know you are listening to us. And yeah, I just wanna read out a message which was quite a long time ago. I just didn't read it out. Brother Muzammil Rafiq, assalamu alaikum. If you're still watching on Facebook, he has messaged and he has said that gym has changed my life and training just gives me time. So for those that aren't aware, we were talking before about the gym and how sometimes we need a release. So Brother Jibril is a fitness instructor or personal trainer. Brother Mahi uses gym as his release. I mentioned that, there's a very famous chef called Gordon Ramsay. He uses cooking as a release. So there's many different things. But the point that I'm trying to steer towards is that we're half an hour into the show and all we've talked about is basically what the problem is, how does it start, or what can we do to prevent it. I think prevention is a good thing, but once it happens, once someone is in, I think now we need to start talking and kind of helping our viewers understand what should we do. Once someone is in it, once someone is struggling, what should they do? What's the first thing they should do? Okay, Brother Jibril, you are a guest. You're a bit more educated than us in this field. So this is a question for you. If someone is in this kind of problematic lifestyle, what would you recommend to them? What's the first thing you would say? Go and do this. What would your words be to them?
I would say if they have someone, could be anyone, but anyone that they trust and they feel like they can open up to, feel like they need to just be able to go to talk to them and just let them know the situation they're in and how they're feeling. Because sometimes all it takes is for you to just be able to sit down and just talk, just open up about your feelings, and just let people know how you're feeling, because sometimes you never know, they might be able to help. They might know someone who you can speak to who can help. There's a lot of organizations now that are out there really trying to help youngsters to get away from this life and help turn their life around. But I feel what it is that a lot of the time they keep a lot of the stuff closed in and they don't go out, they don't go and speak to anybody. You know what I mean? And sometimes that makes it a lot worse because they feel like, there's no one out there, no one's out to help, no one will listen to me. So I feel like it's just I feel like most people will have someone who they can confide in.
I think that's fine. I think a lot of people, they'll do that anyways. But what's the next step? Like, what's the big step that they need to take in order for them to be proactive about getting out of this? Because a lot of people, they know they need to talk to someone, but what should they do? Like we should try. I mean, we can't do anything because we're just here. We can try help them by giving them a space to talk to. But what can they do? What can they do?
I can give you it from my personal experience. It's like, so once you've decided in yourself that, I want to change and I've had enough of this, it's just about making those steps in the right direction to change your life around. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, there are opportunities out there and there are things out there that are away from the things that you've been doing. You know what I mean? But I think everything it starts with yourself,
No, absolutely. I think it takes steps as well. Nothing happens overnight or in 1 or 2 hours. I think it takes a long time to get out of this stuff. I think it takes a long time because I can just imagine, there's a lot of problems. There are people out there that are trying to get you back in. They're not going to let you go. And there's all these hundreds of issues that would happen. And I just feel sorry for the youngsters. They've made a mistake, but I sympathize with them. I feel bad in a way as well because they didn't know what they're getting themselves into. They had no idea what this lifestyle is in front of them. And all they see is, like Brother said before, the cars, the money, the houses, the mansions, the girls. This is all they see. And now the problem is that they're stuck. They have nowhere to go. Mahi, do you want to add anything? Because I keep talking. I have this problem, guys. I keep talking and talking and talking, and I don't stop.
Do you know what it is? I really wanted to ask something from the start to Brother Jibril. I know you said you found Islam. How did Islam help you, and how did you find Islam, and how did that help you get out of this as well?
So it's quite a while ago now. I converted to Islam. We're going on 13 years ago.
Wow, mashallah.
Yeah, so quite a while ago. I think for myself, I was always obviously raised a Christian. So I was brought up in a religious household, and religion was a part of my upbringing, and I was always believed in God and always had that side to me. I think it's once I got into a lot of trouble, and as I was growing up, that was in the back of my mind. I didn't really want to think about that. I wasn't really interested in that. But I think when I found Islam was when I was away, because obviously the lifestyle that I lead, as I said to you, it ends up in one of few ways. You know what I mean?
Mm.
If you continue, you're gonna end up either dead or in prison. That is just the reality of that lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? So when I found myself in trouble, and I was locked up for a few years, and whilst being away locked up is when I had a lot of time to myself, and it was during this time that I read the Quran for the first time, and it was very thought-provoking, and I felt like a connection there, but it was like, okay, you know what, it's cool, I feel it, but don't really worry about it, not too bothered about it.
What did you think of the Quran when you read it?
Like I said, because because a lot of people answer this question, and I feel like my answer
Just out of curiosity, yeah.
The main thing for me that always stood out was like the stuff referring to like science and just the world around, our world around us. We talks about the mountains, and it talks about how the sea is two different seas together, and the split in the seas, and
exactly.
Yeah, just like nature, science, reality, and I was just like, wow, this is I'd never read anything like it before. So that is what really got my mind like, wow, this is deep. Like I said, I read it and I was like, okay, you know what, cool, not really too bothered. Continued on with my life, carried on, and I got to a point where the situation in my life was getting really, really, really bad, and there was a lot of things happening at the time, and it was a thing where I said to myself, you know what, I need to change my life. I really need to change, and something needs to change. And I said to myself, if I can get out of this situation that I'm in and be given another chance, then I'm going to look into Islam properly, and I'm going to try and implement that and live my life. And that was, like I said, 13 years ago.
I wanna kind of loop this back in. We have to go to another break. Actually, no, we have to go to another break now. I thought I'd get something in, damn it. But no, we'll have to go to a break now, unfortunately, guys. So for those of you listening, again, you're hearing my voice again and again. I'm telling you to call in. I'm not going to leave you alone until you do. But if you do want to call in, our number is 0333 444 0940. And we are basically taking callers in. We want you guys to be a part of the conversation. So there is something I want to touch on. But once we come back from the break, that is when I will touch on it. And that is when we'll basically go towards the end of our show. And inshallah, we'll have a nice broad discussion about this very taboo subject about who we hang around with when we're younger. So Jazakallah for listening so far, and we'll see you all after the break, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk. Alternatively, contact our sales team now on 07944 56 5616. That's 07944 56 5616.
Let's connect with the Holy Quran. Minhaj Dawah Project distributes the Holy Quran in plain simple English for free. You can donate £3 and sponsor a Quran to a loved one, a neighbour, a colleague or a friend. We distribute Qurans totally free of charge across the whole UK, including in prisons. Please call us now to contribute on 0300 030 1951 or email us on dawah@minhajuk.org.
Need your tyres checked? Have a flat or a nail in your tyre? Don't panic. Visit B1 Tyres. Our professional and friendly team will have you back on the road in no time. We stock over 3,000 tyres and have some of the best prices in town. Wheel alignment, alloy gaiters, and wheel refurbs are just some of the services that we offer. So call us on 0203 875 3525 or visit us at B1 Tyres, Unit B, 43 to 49 Fowler Road in Hainault. B1 Tyres, the garage you can trust.
मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन में आपका अतिया जिंदगी की उम्मीद आपकी मदद से मुमकिन हुआ। दुनिया भर में 30 लाख से ज्यादा खवातीन, बुजुर्गों और बच्चों तक साफ पानी की फ्राहमी, मुतासरा इलाकों में हंगामी इमदाद, यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों की दादरसी। इस साल हम आपके ताउन से और आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं। अपनी ज़कात, सदकात और खैरात के जरिए इन मंसूबों का हिस्सा बनिए। अभी कॉल कीजिए 0300 3030 777 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org.
Waris Food Store, the place to go for all your meat and groceries. We stock thousands of items from fresh fruit and veg to all your favourite Ramadan food products. Based at 420 Hoe Street in Walthamstow, we can deliver anything you need right to your doorstep. Just give us a call on 0208 521 0000 and take advantage of our huge Ramadan offers. Waris Food Stores is now also available on Uber Eats.
अब हम धीरे धीरे लॉकडाउन से बाहर आ रहे हैं। अब हम दोबारा से बाहर मिल भी सकते हैं, लेकिन हम सिर्फ मिलने से ही खुश नहीं होते ना। क्या कुछ पल के लिए जल्दी से गले मिलना नुकसानदेह हो सकता है? 3 में से 1 शख्स जिसमें कोविड-19 के कोई आसार दिखाई भी नहीं दे रहे होते, मगर वो अनजाने में इसे फैला रहे हैं। वो कोई दोस्त, कोई रिश्तेदार या आप खुद भी हो सकते हैं। है तो मुश्किल, लेकिन ज्यादा पास मत जाइए। आइए इस अगले कदम को इंतहाई एहतियात से उठाएं। याद रखें, हैंड्स, फेस, स्पेस एंड फ्रेश एयर। अब हर कोई हफ्ते में 2 बार मुफ्त कोविड-19 टेस्ट कर सकता है। आधे घंटे के अंदर नताइज आपके सामने। इससे ये पता चलता है कि आप अपने प्यारों की हिफाजत के लिए जो कर सकते हैं वो कर रहे हैं। आपके दोस्त, आपके साथ काम करने वाले साथी और आपकी जिंदगी में फिर से आगे बढ़ने की ख्वाहिश। अंदाजन 3 में से 1 शख्स ऐसा है जिसमें बज़ाहिर कोविड-19 की कोई अलामत दिखाई नहीं देती, मगर अनजाने में वो उसे फैला रहा है। वो आपका कोई दोस्त, रिश्तेदार, काम का साथी या आप खुद भी हो सकते हैं। रैपिड टेस्ट बहुत आसानी से nhs.uk/get-tested से मिल सकते हैं। आइए ये अगला कदम बहुत मोहतात होकर उठाएं।
Revive FM
94.0 on the radio,
on your mobile,
and online.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome back from the break. I don't know, I'm being dramatic, but welcome back, everyone. I hope you're all well. I hope you're not too tired. I know it's nearly midnight, but I hope you're all doing well, inshallah, and are good and are having a good start to the week. We're on Tuesday. Tuesdays are very tiring for me, anyways. I don't know why, but anyways, if you guys want to join in with our conversation, please feel free to call us on 0333 444 0940, and one more time, that's 0333 444 0940. Now, let's get back into our topic. So for those that just joined us, the topic today is about brethren. You know, who do we hang around with when we're younger? Who do we associate ourselves with? These are the kind of questions we're going to answer. You know, a lot of gang culture, a lot of violence. We're basically talking about some youngsters or even elders who are stuck and are trying to get out. And we want to give them like a free space to talk and voice their opinions. But just before the break, brother was talking about who we hang around with. And Mahi asked a very interesting question about Islam to Brother Jibril. To those that don't know, Brother Jibril is actually a convert, and he basically found Islam himself. For those that were listening before, it's quite a touching story. You know, for myself and Mahi, we were just talking in the break. We've been born into this religious lifestyle. Alhamdulillah, my parents, they are very practicing Muslims. Mahi's as well, I'm sure they are. And, you know, we've been born into this kind of atmosphere and environment. But for someone who hasn't, and for someone who wants to find a way, not Islam, but something, I think it's very difficult for them to find a connection with. And that's kind of where I want to go towards. You know, we've got about 15 minutes. But I want to touch on the religious part. Before the break, we did touch on Allah we touched on finding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and reading the Quran and understanding the meaning and the scientific evidence and the theological explanations. But now we talk about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's life and what he did throughout his life and some of the lessons and teachings that he gave us. Now, one of the things that I've always learned growing up is that we were always taught about suhbah. Yeah, for those that don't know what suhbah means, it's like who we hang around with, who we associate ourselves with. That's basically what suhbah means. And the reason, well, what I've been told is because the Prophet ﷺ, I read somewhere, is that whoever we hang around with, that is who we become, basically. So if we are hanging around people that talk in a certain way, we will then, in a couple of years, couple of months, we will start to talk like them. If you hang around with people who behave in a certain way, you will start behaving like them. And I think it's a very interesting theory, very interesting, because this isn't a religious aspect or religious side. This is more of a psychological aspect. If you look at criminology, if you look at psychology, and the psyche of a human, it's basically a habit. You want to fit in to a certain group of people, so you start picking up their habits, and habits become habits in 27 days, 30 days, give or take, and that's when you are used to stuff. I think it's a very broad discussion about Islam and what Islam teaches us and how Islam teaches us to be not just good Muslims, but good members of society. And for that to happen, you have to be a good member of the community. And if we were all good members of the community, then, this stuff would be less. But unfortunately, it's not. We don't have to deal with it. We don't have to. But I think it's good for us to. We're young, myself and Mahi, alhamdulillah. I think I'm young. I'm 20 now. I'll tell you what, I'm 20, but I feel like a grandpa. I don't know what it is, but I feel like a grandpa. But no, I think I'm gonna bring Jibril, brother, just in a second. But I think when we're young, you lose track. You don't know what you're doing. You just follow what you see. And I think that's the issue. But according to Islam, we should follow what is good for us, what we think is good for us. Now the topic now, this is a different topic of morals and etiquettes and just psychology. So, Brother Jibril, in your opinion, on a psychological topic, on a psychological discussion note, no, that's the word. On a psychological note, how do you think being in a society or being in a group of people that are not good for you, how do you think that affects someone mentally?
I think it affects them mentally in a very, very, very large way. I know how you just touched on about the company you keep, and there's a saying that says, "Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future." And I feel like it's very true. So the circle and the company you keep, you're only going to be able to go as far as the people that you surround yourself with, because that becomes your environment. You become encapsulated within that environment, within that mentality, within that psyche. Do you know what I mean? So if you're in a circle where it's nothing but badness and and crime and all of that sorts of stuff, that's all that you can create. That's all that's going to come out of it. You don't get good coming out of bad. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it affects it 100%. 100%.
Yeah. The next thing I wanted to kind of touch up on is me and Saad are both teachers.
Yeah.
So we're both teachers, and we both teach Quran, alhamdulillah. And we've got students.
So we're both Hafiz as well. Plug that in. Come on, man.
So we've got students that are around that age. I think the youngest student I have is about 7, and the oldest is 11. And
I've got 11 to 15, so the oldest class.
It's like that perfect age now where they're vulnerable to these kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's difficult. Like, what can we do as teachers, as like adults? What can we do? Because you do see these kids like attracted to that kind of life.
It's very true.
And they don't even know it. But like it's the little stuff, and slowly they start hanging around with the wrong people and stuff. And it builds
Roadman.
up, and it's like
That's what they call him.
And roadman. But even me, like at the same time, like I was the way where I was going to school, it was like I was seeing all this stuff, and I like you see the same stuff, and it's like
That's
wow.
true, actually.
And it's like, wow, you know, and you kind of fall for it as well. But how do you tell a youngster? Because it's so difficult to tell these youngsters, you know, this is wrong. How do you tell a youngster in that way where it's not like you're shouting at them, but you're trying to teach them, but you're trying to like stay cool at the same time? Do you know what I mean? Because if you seem like boring, they're just going to be like, what is this guy waffling about?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So how do you like balance all of that and tell like the youngsters in the right way?
I don't know if I'll be able to answer that question fully. I can give you my idea of it.
Please.
So like I said to you, when I visited Felton Prison, I was brought in to speak to some of the young offenders in there. Yeah, I had a very warm welcome from them, but the thing that they appreciated the most was that I was someone speaking to them that knew where they were coming from.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? So they said that they've had people come in the past, but they're just like your normal average Joe. They ain't got a clue about what's going on the road. They ain't been through nothing. Do you know what I mean? But for me to come in and say to them, you know, 10, 15 years ago, I was on the other side of, I mean, I was sitting where you was. I was on the other side. Do you know what I mean? So I've been there. I've seen what you guys are going through. So I feel like when someone has that experience or they're speaking from experience, you have an easier way of getting through to these kids. Do you know what I mean? And I felt like that was what helped me get through and actually make a difference to some of the kids that I spoke to, because they knew that, you know, I was coming from a place where I knew what I was talking about. Do you know what I mean? It's like sometimes if someone says to you, oh, if you go and do that, you don't want to do that, so and so and so and so is going to happen. I'm like, oh, how do you know? Oh, I don't know, but I'm just saying. You know what I mean? If someone says to you, I know because I've been there, this happened to me, and I know what the end result is going to be. Do you know what I mean?
Just out of curiosity, I think a lot of the viewers will be thinking the same. Whilst you were there in the Felton prison, and you saw these youngsters, just you know, you probably got a gist of the atmosphere. Did they regret it, or were a lot of them like, have they changed completely? Where it's like, I'm gonna go against everyone now. What was the experience like as the kids there?
Alhamdulillah. You know what? It was, like I said, it was, and it's like these are young guys, you know, young offenders. So I think it's from 17 to 21. Yeah. So everyone is 21 or younger. Yeah. So young guys, and you know, you can assume when they're in their everyday circles, they're actually quite, you know, a lot of them could be quite hard. A lot of them could be in there for quite serious crimes, you know. But when I had them in that room, a lot of them was, you know, they were very attentive, and a lot of them were just remorseful, and they was like, you know what, we really appreciate you coming here, and we're inspired by you. They were like, you made it out, bro. You made it out, bro. Like you made it out, and they were just. It's like they had not seen that before. Do you know what I mean? And it was, you could tell by the way they were expressing themselves that they was actually like, whoa, like you made it out. What, you run your own business, like you. Do you know what I mean? Like because sometimes for them, that's all they know. They don't know no way out of it. So to see someone come and say, you know what, I've been where you are, I've come out on the other side, and now I'm coming back in to help and show you guys that you can actually do something with your life. Even if you have been down that road for a certain amount of time, you know what I mean? You've been locked up, you've got into trouble. It's never too late for you to change your life around and make a change and make something different. So when I came in there, they saw that, and they saw it was genuine, and the reaction was really, really good.
That's really good, mashallah. And I think, you know, going back to the same thing about what you just said again, it's never too late to change your life. I think I've heard that millions of times throughout my life, and whenever someone tells me that, I get annoyed. But I think, you know, this is the thing. This is like a mentality we need to change. A lot of youngsters, they're gonna hear these words, it's never too late to change. They think it is too late to change, and I think that's what we need to really not drill into their heads, but we need to really make them understand that it's your life, you're in charge of it. You might make some people unhappy throughout your life, you might make them upset, you might get on the wrong side of people, but in all honesty, in my opinion, if it's going to be for the greater good of yourself, for your well-being, for your mentality, for your religion, for your way of life, I think, you know what, just do it. Because at the end of the day, in a religious perspective, you're doing it for yourself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if someone else is going to obstruct you from doing those things, then I think maybe stray away from it. Even on a, you know, being in a Western society, being a British Muslim, a British person, a British youth, you need to really understand your ideals. If someone's stopping you from getting you somewhere, or if someone's taking you on a path that you think might not be the right path, maybe consult someone. You know, maybe talk to one of your close mates, or maybe talk to a really close family member. Ask them, what do you think? You know, do I do this or should I do this? And most likely they will have a different opinion from you. Either they'll have the same opinion and say, yeah, that's great, do it. Or they'll say, are you out your mind? You know, maybe don't do that. Maybe reconsider. You know, there's always a choice, always a choice. It might seem like sometimes that there isn't, but there's always a choice. And I think if there isn't a choice, make one. You know, upset some people if you have to. Make a choice, make a new path, make a new way for you to do something for yourself. Because at the end of the day, no one's going to do it for you. Everyone, when it comes down to it, life or death, when it comes down to it, money, when it comes down to it, you know, all these things in life which are materialistic, everyone becomes selfish and everyone thinks for themselves. And I think at that point in time, if someone is stopping you from doing something, then do it. You know, when I was at GCSEs, my teacher, she would tell me, be selfish. You know, we've taught you how to be nice for 5 years now, but you're at your GCSEs and now you need to be selfish, and be selfish in your studies. You know, if you want to go out with your mates, tell them, no, be selfish. You know, study, work hard for like a grind for a couple of years. And then after, you're going to be on top of everyone else, and that's when you're going to get the final laugh. But no, we've got 2 minutes left, and unfortunately, we have to finish the show. Mahi, do you want to say anything? Any last comments? Anything?
I think you wraps up nicely, but I'll just say, I think everyone, you know the difference between right and wrong. And I think you got to know if this friend or if this person is good for you. You have to know it. If it's, like you said, if it's like disrupting your relationship between Allah, or if it's like bringing you down in life, if it's not making you happy, like a false happy, you need to know and you need to cut that off. You need to be strong and you need to cut it off. And it's like, and at the same time, as you were saying, everyone makes mistakes. And it's like, and I was teaching this today, like, we're never going to be perfect. The only person that's perfect is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But it doesn't mean we can't try to be. You know, our whole life is trying to get as close to perfect as we can be. Yeah, we make mistakes. It's okay to make 99 mistakes as long as you make the right one and you learn from it. So it's all about like learning as you go, and that's what I think life is. And yeah, just you got to know the difference between what is good company and like what is bad company.
Very well said. Wow, mashallah. Don't drop it, they're expensive. But no, I want to just go on to Brother Jibril before I thank him, like I thank all the guests. You know, we do a little thing, Brother Jibril. But no, Brother Jibril, do you have any last comments, anything you want to say to our viewers? You know, any last words for them?
You know, first of all, thank you for everybody that has tuned in and taken the time to listen. I think it was a very deep subject, and I think it's a subject of our times, you know, the times that we're living in.
Absolutely.
We are living in a time and a culture where, you know, the whole kind of street gang lifestyle is pushed on us from every angle that we look at. And I feel like it's a constant battle and a constant struggle to kind of get out of it. But what I will say, like I said before, it's never too late. We all make mistakes, and you have to remember that throughout our life, we're gonna have trials, we're gonna have tests, you know, and it's all about, you know, hitting them head on and being strong and trying to persevere and come out on top, and always try to see the good in everything and try to progress forward.
Amazing, mashallah. You know, I've had a lot of guests on this show, and this topic is very, very deep. But yeah, anyways, I think that's all the time we've got for today, unfortunately. But no, I want to thank Brother Jibril for really giving up his time. It's midnight now, guys. You know, he's probably tired. He probably wants to go back to bed after Taraweeh. But no, thank you so much, Brother Jibril, for giving your input, for talking, for actually, you know, coming on this show and telling our listeners, regardless of the age, that it's never too late. Talking about a subject that's very taboo, and you know, sharing your experiences is not easy to do. It's a very difficult thing. But no, thank you so much, Brother Jibril. Thank you to all the listeners, you know, for viewing our show, for sharing our platforms, for, you know, being a part of this community. You know, Revive FM wouldn't run without you. You know, we need you guys to listen, to share, to promote, and kind of be the ambassadors of this kind of radio station. That's the word. But no, thank you so much for listening, guys. If you do want any more information on our shows or anything that you want to contact us with, please feel free to call us on 0333 444 0940. Or if you want to take a look at some of the work we've done, some of the work we will be doing, or if you want to donate with us, please feel free to visit our website, which is www.revivefm.co.uk. Once again, I'd like to thank Brother Jibril, Brother Mahi for being my co-host, 4th week in a row now, and all the viewers that have been listening. We will see you next Tuesday for our last show during Ramadan, and inshallah we will have a very, very interesting topic. We've saved the last one to be a special one, so make sure you guys join in, inshallah. We'll see you all next week, and please take care of yourselves. Assalamu alaikum.
Nitro Treats, the dessert lab where your treats are formulated before your very eyes. Keep cool with our flavored shaved ice, or chill out with our exclusive Dragon Breath Nitro ice creams. Experiment with our selection of mojitos, or indulge in our traditional faludas or lassies. Visit Nitro Treats at 210 Ilford Lane, where our nitrologists remain ready to serve. Nitro Treats, it's nitrolicious.
Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your giving saves lives. Your support has provided more than 3 million people with access to clean and safe water, emergency relief in natural disaster and crisis-affected areas around the world, supported orphans and needy children with a better future. This year, your help can do more. Donate your zakat, sadaqah, and charitable donations to any of your chosen projects. Call us now, 0300 30 30 777, or visit us on minhajwelfare.org.
अब हर कोई हफ्ते में 2 बार मुफ्त कोविड-19 टेस्ट कर सकता है। आधे घंटे के अंदर नताइज